Hey, because this one's a little bit different, let's run through it. First, make sure your guitar is not set up with action that high. Because this one's a little bit hard to keep in tune pressing down the strings because the action's set up for slide. So. But pretend it's in tune. And the only thing I do really differently on this is one, it's not in standard pitch. I think it's tuned down a little bit. So they're playing it with G, C, and sort of D7 fingerings. But the high E string, I got tuned down to D. And on your guitar, those two are probably the same note. But so when you let that, in all of the chord shapes, you leave that high E string, which is now down to D, open. And anyway, this is the way I play it. I'm not quite certain how they do it, because if they did it that way, it would be a little bit unusual for them during that period to change the tuning around. But there's two guitars going, John and George both, and they may be doing different fingerings, but this is mostly George's. But when the thing is, you can hear that D note ringing open. And I don't think he's doing it there, because if you listen to like in the chorus part, you're definitely getting that C note on the first fret of the B string and a D note, which would be here. So you can't do both those notes on the same string at the same time. So I came up with a solution of leave that one open. Plus it does allow you to do the so this first chord is like a G, and you just on and off that B string on the first fret. It's just fingered like a regular C, again with that high E string open. First one is like a D7, but don't touch the high E string. And then when it goes into the re, I keep my fingers on these mostly, but I'm only playing the four highest, so you don't really have to fret those if you're playing it this way. So I just do. I just keep those two covered, just to cover sloppy picking in case you were to accidentally hit them. But and I think that's it. There's a couple of weird spots where Ringo's drum fill goes way longer than it ought to, on purpose. In fact, that's probably the best drumming he ever did. But anyway, so you have to kind of keep time, because if you keep doing the same, you might get a little bit lost on the strum of it and where you're supposed to stop. But listen close to the bass part, because you can kind of follow that to see where it goes. But if you have any trouble, send me a note.